graduates, dear parents, dear guest speakers, dear children, who else? Partners. Welcome to the graduation 2013 of the MBA program. Let me tell you a story first. A boat crossing the Indian Ocean, things are calm, suddenly a baby overboard. And you see all the passengers, baby overboard, baby overboard. A moment later, a man overboard. Man overboard. Well, this man swims, gets the baby, brings it back to the boat. And the passengers, the captain, they say, what a brave man, what a hero, well done. And he says, I just want to know who pushed me. Now I know who pushed me, and that's Sebastian Reich, who pushed me up and said, we need you here because you're the founder and you're co-director, founder of the MBA program, what means I'm a living fossil, because that is 25 years ago we had the first cohort graduating. Actually, we started in 1989. So the first cohort was graduating in 1990. 15 only graduated. 15 people full-time at that time. Let me tell you a little bit where we come from and where maybe also where do we go. You know, when we created the MBA, so in the late 80s, an MBA was not really common in Switzerland. And it was a real, what we in the US knew, an MBA for generalists, generalist management, for engineers or lawyers that suddenly got into management obligations and they needed the managerial skills. And you see that at that time, truly in Switzerland, people were looking for MBAs only if they went overseas, sometimes at schools like London Business School or at IMI, that is now IMD. Now, what is the evolutionary process? If you look a little bit how it developed, you can see that more and more, not only we went from a full-time program to an executive MBA, because the demand was clearly there to do it as an executive MBA and less than to go out for 2 years on a full-time program. But also what you saw is over the 20 years that more and more the industry, the economy asked for specializations and actually wanted people to do more on project management, more having human resources, or to have a special field like health in the center of it. Now, this was not without problems, because the accreditation for the MBA, so the AMBA, the association, they did not really like this, because an MBA is a general management education, and we had to fight for this, that you could also accredit the specializations. Where are we today? I think that today we all have to rethink MBAs and the role of universities. There are 50,000 universities in the world with different interests, in competition with each other, and heavily thinking really now where to go. I actually just came back today from a meeting in Abu Dhabi where we discussed the future of universities. And I can tell you most of the universities are not in trouble, but not really knowing where to go and what happens. Think of what is the pressure. The pressure of the universities see today is A, globalization. Secondly, competition. And thirdly, commercialization. Globalization because you have to go either global, as some of the schools try to go all over the world, or you have to decide that you are in one space like Geneva or New York or wherever and say, we want to be global, but get the students to be very international and get global backgrounds. There's a lot of competition, simply because I said there are 50,000 universities in competition. But more so, there's the commercialization that is a huge problem. The cost of higher education in the Western world is growing and really grew very fast, and this combined with increasing strains in the job market. There's a huge problem in the US at the moment. Only 20% actually get this higher education and get the better jobs. And you can clearly see that starting when you are 20, 25, if you are not graduated, you get about a fourth or a fifth as a starting salary and never make it really to the higher salaries. So this is one of the big problems. But another problem, of course, is tuition. And tuition fees increased by 1,120% since 1978. I'm not wrong. 1,120% since 78. What creates a huge problem, not for you. I'm sorry if I say this is a cheap MBA, but in the US mostly, but in many other countries it becomes a huge problem. In the US, a household spends today 40% of their income for the education of the kids. 40% per household goes into education. What means they are highly indebted. There are huge debts. If you come out with an MBA today in the US or in many of the international schools, you have huge debts. And the problem is, by the way, that the economy today does not allow you to say, I make 20, 30% more salaries and I pay it back in 5 years. The other problem is, and it is no surprise actually, that this new technology is very successful, and it's called the MOOCs. So the massive open online courses, and I don't know if you've heard, but if not, go home, you will need it soon. The MOOCs are now online courses. None of the universities and nobody of us knows exactly what it means and where we go. We actually, and in that sense, we're very modern. The University of Genève has produced several. I have produced one a couple of weeks ago. It was actually on the last 5 weeks. We had 49,000 students. 49,000 students. Now, I don't know how I do with 49,000 students. I just, this is a video. People watch it. Actually, only 30,000 really followed after 2 weeks. Not because we were so bad, but this is normal. Only about a little bit more than 20,000 really finished the 5 weeks. But this is the new thing. So, what is new? I think the challenges that we are facing is really the question, can we as universities, can we as an MBA program face the challenges and turn them into opportunities? We don't know how, but clearly there's a global nature of research, and you have to think of that as a university, how you deal with a global nature of research that is done all over the world and spread very fast over the world. Secondly, there are new knowledge ways or new ways of knowledge creation and knowledge sharing. And we have to deal with that. One example is the MOOCs. The third is experience is learning. And we have to combine more and more experience with the teaching. And we have to get used to new pedagogical tools. And that's what I mean. Go home. You are well equipped today with your MBA. But please keep tuned and look it up what happens in the world and the pedagogical world. So congratulations, and I ask you to continue with your learning because you will need that. So I hand over to the one who pushed me, Sebastian Reich.
Thank you very much. Dear graduates, dear guests, dear colleagues, if we look at today's graduates, we have a quite diverse group in front of us. Among the 82 graduates, there are 21 nationalities, including such distant ones as Brazil, China, Madagascar, Singapore, and Tanzania. They are participants working in very, very different industry domains, such as, for example, banking, cars, consulting, consumer goods, education, energy, fashion, healthcare, humanitarian aid. I had to breathe. Logistics, public administration, sports, telecommunications, tobacco, transportation. And I stop here because otherwise I would go on for another hour. A large diversity of industry backgrounds. As well, they work for very, very different companies, and some of them are perfectly complementary. For example, McDonald's and the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition. I'm not making this up, it's true. The airport of Geneva and the airport of Rome. La toute petite ville de Lausanne et le grand état de Genève, for example. Finally, we have graduates that are working in all disciplines of management, including accounting, controlling and finance, IT, marketing and production, project management, purchasing and sales, and above all, strategy. Moreover, there are bankers, diplomats, doctors, engineers, lawyers, researchers, and even a sociologist. So why do I get so terribly excited about this diversity? Because I think that it has been essential for your learning experience during these last 2 years. I will now argue that this diversity is maybe the most important element of your learning experience to prepare you for the challenges that you are facing in your organizations and companies at the moment and in the future. I'll give you a couple of examples from different industries to illustrate what I mean. Look at energy firms, for example. We have here graduates coming from companies such as Adex Petroleum, Herima Group, and Swiss Electricity. Power utilities, for example, are facing major disruptions. PricewaterhouseCoopers released a report last week stating that the current utility model is doomed by 2030 if these companies fail to find a way to produce more energy at a lower cost and with much less regulatory protection. The reason? Decentralized power generation. Think about people installing solar panels on their rooftops and tapping into the baseload of energy grid whenever it's cloudy. Or think about communities that start to produce their own renewable energy. According to PricewaterhouseCoopers, this kind of grassroots disruption, if you want to call it that way, could shrink the role of unwary power utility companies to mere operators of backup infrastructure in less than 20 years. And executives at utilities, I spoke to several in the last months, seem to be a little bit having a hard time to accept that change is coming, because they are not exactly living in a monopoly at the moment, but they have lived greatly and they have succeeded greatly over the last decades in a context where there was not much competition and not much need for innovation either. Or take Swiss watchmakers. There are people in here working for example, Audemars Piguet, Blancpain and Rolex. You remember maybe in the 1970s, or you have heard about the quartz revolution that forced 1,000 Swiss watchmakers out of business. The overall number of employees in that business went down from 90,000 to 30,000 in less than a decade. Rolex was one of the very few watchmakers at the time that was not only adapting to this change, but played a very active role in popularizing quartz in the luxury segment. And today, quartz represents about 88% of industry sales. Now that's ancient history. But only weeks ago, in October, tech giants Samsung and Apple introduced their smartwatches Galaxy Gear and Nexus. Connected to smartphones, information such as calendar, emails, text messages can be pushed through to your smartwatch, or there are also now startups like, for example, Omaut, that are working on standalone smartwatches that don't even need a smartphone to operate. So far, most Swiss watchmakers didn't flinch. Guys I spoke to at Rolex last week told me that it would not concern them at all. Why? Because real, serious watch enthusiasts would never be tempted by such ugly smartwatches. No? You agree. So will they be right? How should they respond to the threat? Not at all. No, that is one possibility, but at a risk of losing out on a major trend. Or proactively, at a risk of destroying a perfectly fine business, maybe for nothing at all in the end. Possible. A third and last example is information technology. We have graduates here from Bearing Point, CERN, and Swisscom. Disruption happens all the time in technology businesses. Now, think about Microsoft, for example. Microsoft has a wonderful business with their Windows operating systems and their Office application package. If you don't believe me, watch this. They make $78 in net profit with every Windows PC, and that's last year. Okay, $78 profit. Now, if you think about the 350 million PCs that are sold and a 90% market share that Windows PCs have, you understand that they make billions and billions and billions of money every month and year, and they have accumulated a cash pile of $80 billion based on that business. Then 3 years ago, Apple introduced the iPad. And tablets went from 1% market share in 2010 to 27% market share in 2012, and they are expected to be over 50% market share in 2015. So from nothing in 5 years to complete market dominance. That is very bad for Microsoft because their market share of 90% is only true for PCs. In a tablet business, they have a market share of below 3%. Apple and Google deliver the operating systems for 93% of the market. And what's more, Google delivers it for free. So what should Microsoft do? All their other businesses at the moment are loss-making. Their ventures into online failed. They missed the mobile trend. They were very late with their tablet. The very profitability of Windows and Office has kept Microsoft from looking beyond these technologies. At Microsoft, anything that may hurt the Windows franchise was instantly killed. So similar to these examples, energy producers, watchmakers, IT companies, you can see the same kind of disruptions happening in many other businesses and companies. Think about banks, car producers, consultancies, trading firms, tobacco companies, and even hospitals and international organizations. The effects are that companies have to make massive changes to the way they compete, operate, and serve their customers. For example, car makers become now IT specialists. Software companies all of a sudden transform themselves into content providers. And trading firms start digging for oil all of a sudden. Companies facing disruption need to overcome their old ways of doing things, change the way they think, their thinking patterns, and accept entirely new business models. I argue, and that's the point I would like to make, that the MBA has prepared you well for these challenges, because at an average age of 38, so all these nice people in front of you on average, they are 38 years old, and the oldest graduate is even 58 years old since June this year, you were ready to see the world with new eyes. You, sometimes reluctantly, I have to admit, took the perspective of accountants, strategists, marketing people, and they are really, really strange now. There's our professor sitting here next with us. Of psychologists, of managers in developing countries, and so on and so on. You work closely with people from different nations, from different functions, from different companies, different industries. And the most important thing is you had to listen to their viewpoints. You had to combine the various viewpoints, ideas, competencies into common solutions all together. You were ready to take on these challenges, and you mastered them, all of you. Your expertise has become richer. Your ability to tackle complex problems has increased, and most importantly, your capacity to deal with diversity, with lack of structure, sometimes even chaos at the MBA, has helped, I think, a lot to tackle these challenges. So in other words, you are ready to tackle today's business challenges and problems. Towards the end, let me say that the city of Genève's greatest strength comes from its diversity and its inhabitants' willingness to embrace this diversity. This is something I've never seen to the same extent anywhere in the world, and I've lived in quite a few countries, that people are positive about diversity, that they want to also be part of it and embrace it. So stay as you are, open to others, willing to learn, and passionate to improve yourself and those that work with you in your daily business lives. We, the whole MBA team, now sitting here in the first row, take great pride in having been part of your MBA experience. We wish you all the best for your future lives, and congratulations for your MBA diploma. I wish you a very nice evening. Enjoy your evening. Thank you very much.
Dear guests, dear MBA 2013 graduates, and everybody else in the room, I would like to talk about as an MBA testimonial person tonight. And I will give some examples from my self-reflections and why I did MBA and after life MBA. I will talk about these things. So, why MBA? 3 years ago, I decided to do MBA, and that was the biggest decision in my life, actually. I was postponing for a long time, and I was saying maybe later, and then that later became that I wanted to do MBA, and I applied, and I started. So, there was a reality check here. So, I was thinking, where am I with my career, and what are the other people are doing with their career, and some reality check, and effect was the most income you earn is between 35 and 45 years old. And I was around this bracket, so I decided I have to do something with my career, and I decided to do MBA. Of course, which MBA was not a very difficult question, because I was living in Geneva, and I decided to University of Geneva Executive MBA. And I was thinking, what do I do with my MBA later? So that was a decision done already in the beginning. I was looking at actually what is the return on investment. So as we know that this is not a very expensive MBA, but when you calculate as assignments and opportunity lost in those time that you spend here Saturday mornings, 8 o'clock, or time that you take from the vacations that you took from the work, you can end up easily, I think, 100,000 Swiss francs, I decided. But this can be wrong. I made it up the numbers. Don't look at the other calculations or estimate. This is an estimate. So. And then I would like to give you some reflections how I moved on after the MBA. It was actually difficult period after the MBA. I can testify that I got 3 job offers, not right after the MBA, but through the time, over a year. So I changed twice my job in that sense, because I got very good opportunities. And how I did is actually being simply proactive, taking the leadership of my career. So I did really visible in the LinkedIn. I was enrolled to groups that are really, my career is focused. I was even sending personalized emails to the different people to find out what are the opportunities out there for me. So I was posting articles. This was very easy. You don't need to write the article. You just take from someone else and post to other groups, and people are interested. Even sometimes you get job offers or consulting activities. They find you while you posted that article, and they even find your company and they call you. They want to talk about it. So this is very interesting. If you are online in these groups, people follow you. Of course, networking inside and outside company is very important also. I know some people who work in big multinationals, they give the importance only to their own company, but when they leave the company, or they had to leave the company sometime, they have really difficulty to find other networks. So in that sense, I think tell my friends, those who are working in those companies, really try to build up other networks. This is really important. I am also selecting professional events. I go to Swiss British Chamber of Commerce events. They are really good. There are EMBA events, Big Four audit companies events, risk. For example, if you are interested in risk like me, you can go to risk breakfast or Big Four audit companies. It's free and you meet people. Networking is really good in that sense. And even you are not, I think, thinking of changing your career after MBA, you can still apply for jobs just to check how is your employability, whether you can get a job, are you fit in interviews, what kind of questions they are asking. Actually, if you look at the questions, there are 40 questions, and if you know them by heart, meaning that you have a good story to tell them, you can achieve any, I think, interview. There is no secret in that. First thing you need to do, I think, whatever they ask you, you need to have clear examples in each sense. Change management, you need to have one example, a really good one. What was the problem? What I did in this solution? How the company benefited? These 3 things you apply, and then you are done. And then the more you do this, the more you are good at doing that. And then at some point, interviews are a piece of cake. You go there, same questions coming, and you know the answer. And you are really good at that, you achieve. So this is what I did actually. And then, last thing I was doing also, you meet some people sometimes, you are not really connected. You have weak contact with that. You just edit yourself, you got the card. How do you connect with this person? Those people, you have weak contacts. I'm not saying in the sense of physical ability, of course. Those weak contacts are the ones that will bring you the jobs, if you are looking for a job. Strong contacts will not bring you any jobs. This is, I think, already known fact, because you know, you see the same jobs like them. So this is another point I wanted to highlight. As a person, I think what MBA brought for me, I was going to tell that this is an amazing experience. I think you all achieved a great achievement here, and you have a really great MBA degree. I think you need to use this. And what I look at now, what I got from MBA, I have a better network in Geneva, because this is specialized in Geneva. You have a great subject to talk in interviews. You can hook up people. I done MBA, they like it. They enjoy to talk about it, because you are up to date with the knowledge, experience, skills that they are looking for. And then you have a boosted self-confidence. If you do all these things that I am telling you, you are really enjoying the way you are doing, and you get more responsibility at work level as well. And hopefully more income after the MBA. And you need to be visible for that. And apart, and the last thing I want to say in this point, you get a learning virus, as you said. I mean, you want to learn more and more. It's not enough. Nothing is enough. You learn something, but next day you want to learn more. So I think the best thing I got from MBA is this learning virus. I keep learning things, and there's no end. And last thing I want to say, life after MBA is really great. I think you don't have to come here anymore. It is enjoyable weekends. But I mean, as I said, if you are looking for a new job, you need to say that you done an MBA, spread the word around, and enjoy it. I would like to say, last thing actually, enjoy this MBA degree, but you need to work on how to get things work for you. You can't leave it there. You need to do self-leadership, as we got the class here. I think you need to take the career with your hands and try the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I could get used to this. Wherever I go, there's always some music playing before I open my mouth. Thank you very much, Hakan, for your speech. Thanks a lot. It is a great pleasure to introduce Bertrand Levrat. Mr. Levrat is the director of the Geneva University Hospital, or in French, Les Hôpitaux Universitaires de Genève. Mr. Levrat has graduated in law studies at the University of Geneva in 1991, then worked as a lawyer and moved on to work for the International Committee of the Red Cross in countries such as Burma, Colombia, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and the US. Back in Switzerland, he turned around the social welfare institution with 1,000 co-workers working in 52 different workplaces. And then last year, he beat a global cast of outstanding candidates for the job of leading the largest Swiss university hospital. In short, he is a master of changing perspectives and tackling new challenges, as I just mentioned before. He is also the living proof of the exciting careers you can build on the foundations of a degree granted by the University of Geneva. It's an honor to have him with us tonight as our keynote speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bertrand Levrat.
Est-ce que les enfants au fond de la salle comprennent l'anglais? Non! So, if there's somebody who needs applause, et s'il y en a qui ont droit à un diplôme, c'est les enfants qui sont sages alors qu'ils comprennent rien à ce qu'il racontait ici. Bravo. Mais je suis désolé les enfants, je vais continuer en anglais parce que somebody asked me to do it in English, so I'll continue in English, even though for the children I'm sorry about it. I took over the new job 6 months ago. 6 months ago, so congratulations, first of all. You just have an MBA. We both have the 3-letter words. You have an MBA, I have an HUG. So, congratulations. And there, I'm a runner. I do a lot of running, not as much as Grégoire, but did you finish and did you cross the finish line, or did you cross the starting line? And I just crossed the finish line because, as it was said, there was really competition, it was hard. And then finally, you're the one. Whoa. And then everyone tells you, okay, welcome on board, let's start. You're exactly in the same position. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You have your MBA finally at last. You just crossed the finish line. Enjoy it. But now, real work begins. You just crossed the starting line. So, what is it all about my new job? 6 months in the job. Well, I'll make it quite quickly and simple. HUG is 8 hospitals, 40 healthcare facilities, the biggest hospital in Switzerland. It has areas of expertise in care. It goes from cardiovascular disease to oncology. We do education, training about 1,550 healthcare professionals, 688 medical interns, etc., etc. We do research. We have 262 research groups, more than 1,300 publications. So it's innovation. That's what it's all about. We have 1,804 beds, 670,000 days spent in hospital. Probably most of you have a member of your family or yourself eventually who has been through the HUG over the last 24 months. So everybody knows what the HUG is all about. 80 organ transplant, more than 4,000 births, 900,000 outpatient consultation, ambulatoire in French. Emergencies, we have one emergency every 6 minutes, even though you wait sometimes in emergency ward, it's 85,000 emergencies. We have more than 10,000 staff. It's the biggest firm in Suisse romande, if I except Nestlé. More than 70% of about 70% of the staff are women, so I'm a very happy man. 180 professions, and the median age is my age, in fact, 44 years. We have 1.7 billion budget, which makes me the biggest tax spender, so thank you every time you pay your taxes here in Geneva. 54 in state subsidies and 46 in fees for services. Major works going on, about 600 millions on making the hospital of the future, and we have a decentralized management that looks a bit like this. The board of directors up on top, on there, and this is how the organigram looks like. So you might think that when Jean-Yves asked me to talk about the adventure of taking a new job, I would say, well, yes, in a way. Even though the big news is I'm still alive, and the even bigger news is I'm enjoying it every single day. So I'm here to discuss with you a bit about what is it to take a new professional challenge and how do you enjoy it. So I have 3 take-home messages, basically. Maybe afterwards we will have the 10 more take-home messages, but what do we like and what do we dislike in a new boss attitude? You have an MBA, you want to have responsibilities, okay. So what is it you have to do or not to do when you're a boss, when you're a manager? Let's discuss about it. Second, find the balance. We've heard that. Next MBA student, graduate. It's one of the main challenges in taking a new job. And third, have fun. Have fun not only tonight, but every single day. And how do you achieve this? So, on the first one, simple, huh? More seriously, you are MBA students, so you're at the forefront of technology and innovation from what I heard right there. So, okay, what do you expect? Come on. Tout le monde. Qu'est-ce que vous attendez d'un chef? Come on. Leadership. Okay, what else? Integrity. Empowerment. What else?
Honesty.
Okay, honesty. What else? What? Higher salary, yes, of course, we expect that from you. You're not going to do long, I'm afraid. I'm in the public sector, salaries are not my business. What else? Pardon? Having visions, yes, of course.
Lead by example.
Yes, lead by example. What else? Respect. Okay, you're the new leaders of tomorrow. So everything you've just said, respect, attention, vision, okay, have this. And what I really don't like in my boss attitude, you have bosses, come on. What do you don't like in them? Arrogance. The other ones have the right to speak as well, huh? What do you dislike in your boss? Incompetence, yes, of course. What else? Patronizing, yeah, no, awful. What else?
Uninspiring.
Not inspiring. What else? Absence. Even though it can be an advantage from time to time. What do you dislike in your bosses? Come on. Micromanagement. What else? Presence. Ah, yeah, sometimes. Absence and presence. Okay. I do have to tell you guys that nobody said I like that he has an MBA. You know? it's not an option. But basically, when you take a new job, just remember that. It's very simple. It's common sense. But we all have bosses in our life. And we all know the bosses we like and the bosses we don't like. Well, when you take a new job, try to be a boss that you like. And we express things which are very simple, even though they are very deep. And my experience taking a new job is basically we're human beings. Yes, we have smartphones, we have internet, LinkedIn, everything. But are we that far away from our reptilian and basically what we expect in bosses are fundamental human values. And if we forget this, well, you'll never make it. So my first conclusion about what is it when you take new responsibilities, well, just be what you expect bosses to be like and try to avoid as much as possible what we've just expressed. Second thing, find the balance. So find the balance, I thought, to be frank, it was after the football match on on Tuesday evening, when I thought, well, France is going to lose anyways. I'm not going to look the football match and do this presentation. And then, of course, I watched the match. And I finished this around midnight. But find the balance is something extremely important if you want to last. And this is a phrase of Edgar Morin. I didn't translate it, so sorry for the English speakers, but never forget it. À force de sacrifier l'essentiel à l'urgent, on a oublié l'urgence de l'essentiel. What is it, l'essentiel? Travail. I put 70%. The blue line is energy, let's say. What you got as energy? Okay, put your energy in your work. You have an MBA, so some of you might even think that he's leaving, he's putting 100% on his work. Now, some of you might think it's 100%. No way, no way. Everybody knows that your energy is not only work. I put couple ou famille because the ones here in the room who have children know that there are two things important, the family, but also the couple. So how much energy can you put in your couple and how much in your family? Then friends, and then that last one, the one nobody speaks about anywhere, moi pour moi. For no one else. I don't go running between 12 and 2 because I'm better at work. Do I do it for myself or do I do it for work? Well, moi pour moi, what does it mean? Now, c'est un peu l'œuf de Colomb. Hein? You might think, oh, of course everybody knows this. Yeah, but find that balance. You just experienced something. You just added one more. Look, it looks like this. You have an MBA, guys. Where did you took your energy? So I did it for you. Huh? I'm not sure that since I had a big business, I thought you cannot lower your energy in your job. So it remained at 70%, the job. So where did you take your energy? Your friends, your couple, your family. So thank you, family and couple. Because you accepted during all their MBA work that this energy was going a bit down for you. Because on Saturday mornings, they were not here for you. And they know it. Les amis, forget it. Et moi, pour moi, next year. Again, I don't know how much they make you work. Maybe they are thinking that it must be 100%, but it was during your job. So again, now you have your MBA, or at least when I finish talking, you will have your diploma. So you're back to the 4 things. If you do politics, or if you have a passion in art or whatever, you might still have 5 of these. But basically, I think you got 4. So what is it when you take a new job? It's even worse. And let's go back to that phrase of Edgar Morin, l'essentiel. Where is it? Where is what really counts for? Well, you're not going to blow your family, your couple, your friends, and yourself because you got a new job. No way. It's not worth it. No job is worth suppressing the 3 others. And to find the balance is something extremely hard. And as I told you, I lead an enterprise which is public, so I'm in the press every second day. I have an enormous pressure, and it works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So as we speak, I have about 15 collaborators doing miracles. And as we speak, I have about 15 collaborators doing stupid things right now. Oh my God, I gotta go. No. So this is not balance. You'll never make it. So my aim, my goal, and thank you, Jean-Yves. Thank you, because when I did this presentation, I thought, what am I doing for myself? Moi pour moi, for nobody else. And I just called my mountain guide to do some mountain climbing, somewhere in March. You might feel like, wow, March is far away. Yeah, but I know that in March, I have a weekend just for me. And it makes me feel so good. Never forget yourself. And when you take a new job, of course that new job is going to take a lot of energy. And again, this is homemade. This is my own reflections. There's no academic publication on it. It's simple. Please remember this. And remember that people who work around you also have these 4. And expect them as well to last. Because what you're expected to do is to last in a new job. Since I already did 6 months and they didn't fire me, I hope that I will stay another few years. And if I want to stay another few years, I will need to think about myself, to think about my friends, and most of all, and most important, my couple and my family. That was the second message. The third message is the most simple one. Have fun, not only tonight, but every single time in your career. I did everything wrong to be where I am. Everything. I'm a lawyer. I worked for the Red Cross. Then I worked for the poor people and asylum seekers in Geneva. Nothing correct to be heading a hospital. Nothing. But I had fun in everything I did, and since I have had fun, I did it the best I could, and somehow I was not totally bad in what I did. So if you're having fun in what you do, you'll be good. So have fun, and second, not have fun just for fun, but have fun because deep inside you, what you're going to do makes sense. And that's why you have fun. And every single one of us has a different meaning of what makes sense. But please, don't waste your life. We only live once. And there are people who sail on sailboats around the world. There are people who want to make solar impulse and fly in an airplane powered by solar energy. Why don't you do that? You got an MBA. The world is yours. So please don't blow it. Please don't miss that fantastic opportunity to do what you want, to do what really speaks to you. And if you have fun, you'll be good. And if you'll be good, the next job will be even better. So congratulations. You just crossed a starting line. The starting line is a new step in your life. And if one of these days, well, there are some people who already work in the HUG and some others who will soon work in the HUG, but if one of you is interested to work in the HUG, most welcome. We need people like you. We need competencies. We need simply to be the best hospital in the world, because that's how we're going to have fun. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
Okay, now for the distribution of diplomas, I'll be calling the graduates. You know what to do. Okay. All right, Pablo Aki, Ingo Alberti, Moari Avancini, Serban André Badik, Myriam Berthier, Grégoire Carasso, Marshall Chaland, Gilles Cohen, and Elsa Maria Constantina Vierabento, Herman Cornella. Anthony Poor, Tanya Cullen.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Yeah, thank you.
Adélie Olsen, Gustav Osmoraglu, Nathalie Piguet, Sabina Pino, Manuel Felipe Pinao Amadera. Now we are going to announce the awards. We have 3 prizes today. The first one is the Best in Class 2013, and Mr. Fabien Smadja, Director of HR Banque Mirabeau, will be presenting this. Welcome.
Chèque. La banque, le chèque. Si vous faites le... Donc c'est la banque Mirabeau, pas Mirado. On aurait un peu tendance peut-être à rajouter le Mirado de la Méduse. Merci beaucoup. Alors, je suis très heureux. D'abord, je parle en français pour les enfants, principalement. Merci. Chers amis, je ne vais pas faillir à la tradition en remerciant toutes les personnes qui ont contribué à votre réussite, mais la liste est longue, donc je ne vais pas les remercier. Je vais dire merci à vous tous. Je suis très content parce qu'il y a beaucoup de personnes qui m'ont beaucoup inspiré. D'abord Gilbert, je vais te remercier. Jean-Yves, vieux compère de Suissaire. Raphaël, Samira et Mija, avec qui on a fait des projets. Je ne sais pas si un DRH d'une banque privée Genève peut dire des projets de dingue, mais c'était à peu près ça, avec vraiment beaucoup de créativité chez Vacheron Constantin. La banque Mirabeau donc, est heureuse, c'est une banque de gestion privée. Nous avons d'ailleurs un poste ouvert en chef de projet à l'organisation. Avec ce que coûtent les headhunters, franchement dit, je comprends Monsieur Lebras. Et je fais la même chose. Donc, va être heureuse d'offrir un chèque au lauréat du Best in Class, dont je n'ai pas encore le nom. Ça va être la surprise. Alors, je voudrais évidemment vous féliciter pour les efforts que je ne serai pas capable de faire. Vous dire aussi que vous allez... Ah, d'accord. Ah, c'est lui. Son prénom commence par un J. Ok. Alors vous allez donc retourner dans vos entreprises respectives et vous allez continuer d'assumer des responsabilités. Assumer des responsabilités. Responsible, être capable de répondre. Le message que j'aimerais partager avec vous veut illustrer pour moi une valeur centrale. Une valeur, c'est ce à quoi je ne renoncerai pas. Je ne renoncerai jamais à cela. C'est ça une valeur. Donc le message que je veux partager avec vous, c'est être et se sentir responsable. Je préfère illustrer mon message d'une manière négative. Ne faites jamais partie d'une chaîne de déresponsabilisation. Je me suis entraîné, je vais le répéter, si vous permettez. Just for the fun. Ne faites jamais partie d'une chaîne de déresponsabilisation. Dans cette chaîne de déresponsabilisation, tous les maillons sont faibles. Je constate que c'est un fléau en entreprise depuis que j'assume cette responsabilité aux ressources humaines. C'est vraiment un fléau, comme dans la société civile. Ne pas se sentir responsable. Ce fléau qui décourage les plus motivés, qui encourage les couards, qui ne donne pas de courage à ceux qui en auraient besoin. Et je dois dire que j'enrage d'entendre des personnes qui ne tiennent pas le coup en face de ceux qui n'ont pas le courage de les encourager. En fait, je voulais faire un slam au début, puis je dis c'est pas possible. À la banque Mirabeau, on ne fait pas de slam, donc je me suis quand même offert ce petit passage. J'espère que vous m'avez bien suivi. Donc je vous encourage à ne pas vous déresponsabiliser. Alors, comment ça peut se traduire au quotidien? Alors évidemment, ce sont des exemples théoriques, parce que chez nous, ça n'arrive pas. Ce sont des personnes qui vous disent « ce n'est pas moi ». Non, je t'assure, ça n'arrive pas. Chez vous non plus, d'ailleurs. Ce n'est pas moi, c'est l'autre. Il faut voir avec la direction. Alors la direction est à un certain étage, donc on dit « allez voir à tel étage, moi j'y peux rien, ce n'est pas en mon pouvoir. Je ne suis qu'un pion parmi d'autres ». C'est ça, se déresponsabiliser. Et si vous devez faire face à une demande, à un projet, à un problème, faites face à une demande désagréable, devenez le propriétaire d'un problème, temporairement, mais devenez-en le propriétaire. Devenez le propriétaire de ce problème qui vous est exposé. Ne désignez pas quelqu'un d'autre. Prenez en charge. Faites face. Ayez du courage. Je pense que c'est pour moi la principale qualité dans le management. Il est plus facile de construire des murs que de construire des ponts. Mon cher Jean-Yves, tu sais qui a créé cette citation? Si vous n'êtes pas mûr pour construire un pont, eh bien, allez vous instruire pour construire des ponts qui vous relieront à votre entourage. Faites face. Ne désignez pas d'un doigt vengeur un coupable, parce que n'oubliez pas que lorsque vous désignez un coupable, vous avez un doigt qui le désigne, mais 3 qui sont dirigés vers vous. Dans mon rôle de directeur des ressources humaines, je dois faire face à ces situations difficiles. Je passe du temps à développer le courage des managers, j'essaie de les responsabiliser. Ça fonctionne plutôt bien, mais ça demande beaucoup d'énergie. Bon, en fait, le message, là, cette fin de message ne sert pas à grand chose, mais ça m'a fait beaucoup de bien de voir un petit peu m'épancher. Et je vais conclure, pardon. Fils et petits-fils d'instituteurs, je vais conclure. Excusez-moi les enfants, on dit que je vais conclure. Je conclus donc en félicitant le courageux lauréat dont le prénom commence par J, la deuxième lettre est A, donc je vous laisse voir, qui a eu une note moyenne de... On la connaît? Wow, combien? Wow. 5,75. Eh bien, bravo, Yann de Schepper. 5,75. Vous pouvez l'applaudir bien fort, s'il vous plaît. Et je propose à vos collègues de se lever. Standing ovation. Il va dire quelques mots.
Okay, I think I have to say something. What a day. Still hard to believe that actually we are here and that we received the diploma, and on top of the diploma actually an award. And as a little story, this award, my best friend won it 2 years ago here, Eli Peter, and actually we went together to the primary school, and then we had different paths, and now again we end up with the same education and the same award, so it's quite amazing. And actually it was he who pushed me, so there's always a pusher, you see, and he pushed me to do the MBA here in Geneva because he was deeply convinced about the quality of the program. And I don't have been disappointed at all. I think it has been the best decision I made after marrying my wife. Having 2 kids, Nicolas and Victoire. And yes, the quality I think was there. I think it was an excellent program. Congratulations to the program director. Some world-class modules like change management, like managing across cultures, like strategy. Actually, every single model was good, and I learned something in every single model. But the MBA is more than just models, 24 models, and it's really about the people, about exchanges, the different point of views, the discussions, the group work. And I think here again, the MBA director made a great choice in selecting the students, selecting all of you, and I really feel grateful for this experience, having been with you during two years, and it was like a journey, and I think and hope that we stay in contact, because really it was a great bunch of people, and we had good times. It was never a pain to come on a Saturday morning. So it was really always a good time. So thanks for that. Thanks to all of you, especially those with who I worked very closely in the groups.
Et vous connaissez la banque Mirabeau?
And it's time for apéro, I guess. So,
Les enfants, à Noël, papa a eu un chèque.
so I understood the message. Merci beaucoup.
The next award is Best in International Management 2013, which is the traditional MBA specialization. And this is awarded by Mr. Frédéric Bouvier, CEO of Country Club Genève. Welcome.
Bonsoir. C'est extraordinaire de voir autant de sourires dans une salle qui, normalement, on ne voit pas trop de sourires dans cette salle. Donc, je suis très heureux de vous voir si heureux. En tout cas, bravo à tous, bravo à l'organisation, parce que, franchement, c'est un plaisir de venir chaque année. J'aimerais bien dire merci à Monsieur Smajda, parce qu'il a parlé en français, et ça me rassure, parce que mon accent anglais n'est pas terrible. Donc, merci beaucoup, Monsieur Levrat. J'aimerais vous dire, vous m'avez coupé un peu l'herbe sous le pied, parce que je voulais faire un cours sur qu'est-ce qu'un bon manager. Et vous avez fait une dissertation extraordinaire, une démonstration, merci beaucoup, mais il manque un truc sur votre graphique. Vous avez mis travail, vous avez mis famille, vous avez mis moi pour moi, vous avez mis les amis, et moi je vais rajouter le wellness, le Country Club Genève. Je vais faire la pub de mon club. Eh oui. Mon club. Tout le monde connaît un peu ce nom-là, mais on ne sait pas le situer. À Bellevue, à la sortie vers Versoix. Il appartient à quelqu'un qui est très connu, j'en tairai le nom. Nous avons 10 cours couverts de tennis, 3 extérieurs, un cours de padel, 2 cours de squash, un cours de badminton, un spa, un fitness wellness, un restaurant italien extraordinaire. J'ai changé le chef, pardon, il est français maintenant. Et je me dis depuis tout à l'heure, quand même, on est en train de faire un cours à tous ces lauréats. Je voudrais vous féliciter, je vous admire parce que vous faites une chose que je n'aurais pas pu faire dans ma vie, donc bravo à vous. Mais surtout, je me dis, c'est bizarre, ma clientèle, j'ai regardé avant de venir, j'ai 1100 adultes, j'ai 600 hommes, et sur ces 600 hommes, j'ai 400 managers. Et je me dis, c'est quand même bizarre parce qu'ils passent quand même 3 ou 4 heures par jour chez moi. Est-ce que c'est des bons managers? Vu le curriculum vitae, vu les cartes Platinum qui circulent chez moi, je me dis tiens, ils ont bien réussi dans leur vie. Et il y a un sport qu'il faut absolument éviter, parce que j'ai mis les pieds dedans il y a 2 ans. On a un practice de golf, j'ai oublié de le citer. Et lorsque vous tombez dans ce sport, généralement c'est que vous avez bien managé toute votre carrière, mais c'est aussi un danger pour votre travail. Alors messieurs et mesdames, faites attention, parce que le sport, c'est très très bon pour la santé, ça peut être mauvais pour le travail aussi. Alors attention, il faut y aller avec parcimonie. Aujourd'hui, je suis très très fier de remettre un abonnement qui s'appelle Fitness Wellness, pour le bien-être du futur manager ou du manager que vous êtes, parce que je pense qu'il y en a qui managent déjà depuis longtemps. Pour ma part, j'ai managé beaucoup de joueurs de tennis, beaucoup d'enfants, beaucoup de joueurs très connus, des équipes. C'est très difficile, c'est des métiers qui se ressemblent, on fait tous à peu près le même métier ici. Les valeurs humaines dont parlait M. Levrat tout à l'heure, c'est pour moi la plus grande des qualités d'un manager. J'aimerais vous dire que le nom du lauréat finit par un R. Ok? Vous voyez pas? Je vais faire un test au lauréat, un test sportif avant de lui remettre son diplôme. Le diplôme, c'est donc un abonnement fitness et spa, je le répète. J'aimerais que vous applaudissiez pour la 2e fois Yann de Schepper.
Ok, tout push-up. 200 push-up.
Okay, so I continue my speech. Because it was not finished, I was just interrupted. So I would like to thank the group I worked a lot with. So first of all, Vera. She's not here today, but out of a good reason, actually. She gave birth 2 days ago. She's at the HUG, you know what it is now. So I'm sure she would be happy if you send her your congrats. I would also like to thank Mr. Professor Nicolas Montandon. I think he was really always present in the cours, a real role model, and it was a pleasure to work with him and to study with him. I'd like also to thank Anthony Cour. With his finance skills, I think I would not have these 2 awards without his finance skills, so that is said as well. So it's really team effort, and a lot of group works I really enjoyed a lot. And to finalize, I would like to thank my family, my wife, and my 2 kids for the support and the understanding. So, thanks everybody.
The next award is Best MBA Project. And please welcome Samira Marquis, directrice de l'Institut Vacheron Constantin.
Good evening, everybody. It's nice to be with all of you tonight. Making a speech after all these brilliant guys, it's going to be very difficult. But anyway, I'm going to do better than you. No, we are good friends anyway. So, dear newly graduated MBAs, I will do it in English first of all. Okay. I know that you are all tired of speeches anyway, and you want all to go to celebrate, so I'm going to make it short. On behalf of Vacheron Constantin, the oldest watch manufacturer in the world, without any interruption of activity, I am delighted to be here tonight with you and to celebrate your success and your graduation. And I would like especially to congratulate Mr. Bernard Maréchal, our procurement and logistic manager in our company. I'm very happy with your hiring, and I'm happy also to sponsor your MBA. In 1755, a brilliant master watchmaker named Jean-Marc Vacheron established his workshop in the heart of Geneva. His first act was to hire an apprentice. He was a master, and to perpetuate his art, he was to transmit it further. It was the testimony of his desire to share his knowledge and his know-how. It was also an act of entrepreneurship, because through the transmission, he was sure that his company would survive and would go through centuries and time. In retrospect, we can see that it is not only the founding act of the manufacturer itself, but also a first step in establishing one of our core values, which is the transmission of knowledge and know-how. The process of transmission is not static, but requires innovation as well as inherited expertise. The centrality of this transmission has now been reaffirmed by the creation last September of the Vacheron Constantin Institute for Crafts and Human Capital Development. This is to perpetuate our company's social responsibility and our core values, including striving for excellence. It therefore seems very logical for Vacheron Constantin to collaborate with the University of Geneva, since both institutions are dedicated to the excellence in the transmission of knowledge and in the education of the future entrepreneurs and leaders. So, I would like to, I don't have any check. Sorry.
A watch.
Not a watch either. I have 3. So, the Best MBA Project Award 2013 will go to Mr. Jean-Yves Bonvin, Mrs. Sandra Reimann, and Mrs. Emmanuelle Zede for the work titled Swiss Medical Works, a strategic analysis on the launch of generic products in the field of osteosynthesis. Congratulations. Voilà.
Just a quick last word from my side to the graduates. I'm looking forward, it's not the end, no, we have seen it's the beginning. So we are looking forward to seeing you again in the future. When you come back, for example, as guest speakers to our courses. We would like to have even more guest speakers in our courses, more interaction with practice, so you're all welcome to come back. Or to act as coaches in the personal development course. Jean-Yves Mercier is organizing it, is always relying on our former graduates, our alumni, to help and coach the new students. We also have alumni as part of our selection committee for the new students, so there are a lot of opportunities in the alumni program to stay connected with the MBA. You are done studying as of tonight, which is a very good thing now, and you should celebrate it, but you always remain members of a great MBA community. So now let's have some fun and enjoy the buffet. Fun is the third component in life now, and maybe it's the first. Let's have some fun, enjoy the buffet that is waiting for you outside in the hall. Thank you very much and enjoy your evening. Thanks.
1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.